Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, which gives me my name, my identity, and the right to defend all drug users from the war on drugs. And today we're talking part 4 of the 17th chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which is the 14th chapter of the book of Zion. And this is the first part of the dissertation. It's called My People's Transgressions, and it begins with Lamentations 4, 6 to 8, which is Zion 1 to 3. The punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed upon her. Her Zionites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was as of sapphires. Their vistage is blacker than coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It is become like a stick. Lamentations 4, 6 to 8 talks about how cruel the war on drugs is and the effect it's had on the people of Zion. Jeremiah tells us that the punishments inflicted by the government is far worse than what the Gray did to Sodom. Sodom was annihilated in a moment, but the suffering of the people of Zion have gone on for 80 years. I have to ask, what have me and my people truly done that is so terrible that you think that you have the right to treat us so badly? We are no worse than you. In fact, we are better than you until you turn us into people more like you. Our first true generation of Zionites were those who were the flower children and the hippies of the 60s and 70s. We were a very peaceful, loving people. We were righteous and glorious to behold. We valued what the Gray valued. We were beautiful. We protested the evil of war, and we shunned the use of money. Our forefathers, the hippies, embodied everything righteous about us. Then the prohibition on drugs became the war against the most peaceful people on earth. We, in all our glory, made them see just how hypocritical they truly are, and they hate us for it. The light punishment of the Gray had worked too well. The government turned ugly. The laws were passed to intensify the oppression of drug use, and along with it, the suppression of the people created by the Gray. The war on drugs was implemented to prevent my people from realizing our true potential. Drug laws attempt to prevent the Gray from interfering in human affairs by suppressing drug use. As long as the drug users remain in a state of chaos with no sense of identity, the society we live in can go on with business as usual. We can and will change society in a very beneficial and profound way. Our ability to communicate with the Gray will destroy our current greed-based society, so the war on drugs is necessary for society to continue. The cruelty of the war on the children of Zion has manifested itself in now violent nature of the adult population of my people. Our rioting and the violence in our music testifies to the depth of our spiritual corruption. The war on drugs has done us great harm. Isaiah 58, 1 to 7, Zion 14, 4 to 10. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up the voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sin. Yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteousness, and forsook not the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching to God. Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not? Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge? Behold, in the day of your fast you find a pleasure, and exact all your labors. Behold, you fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high. Is it such a fast that I have chosen? A day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush, and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou call this a fast, and an acceptable day of the Lord? Is not this the fast that I have chosen? To loosen the bonds of wickedness, and to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke? Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that you bring the poor that are cast out in your houses? When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thy own flesh? Isaiah, in this passage, is about one of our most prolific drugs, methamphetamines. It is, in the biblical sense, a means by which my people fast. The use of fasting in religion goes way back in history. It is practiced by many religions, but our fast is seen as a terrible sin. And its current use is wrong, but not for the reasons that it's illegal. So let's take a closer look at meth and its current use and why the Grey created it. When we use meth, we fast. To fast, you must deny yourself food and you must restrict your fluid intake. This is the current most popular idea of a fast in our society. Meth does qualify as a cheat on a religious fast like Ramadan, but other forms of fasting do occur. Native Americans have a long tradition of fasting as a rite of passage from childhood into adulthood. They also use the fast for vision quests, to obtain higher knowledge, and to communicate with higher powers. This older form of fasting to quest is more in line with our use of meth because it also incorporates sleep deprivation. In a native fast, the suppliant um, went out alone. They would go without food, water, and sleep for as many days as it took to enter into a visionary state. This is our form of fasting. And it isn't a cheat at all. The use of psychedelic drugs has a history as long as humanity. Its use has always been for visions and to communicate with higher powers. That is what meth is truly for. Those who use it sacrifice their health for the knowledge gained. Meth is our tool for fasting and for vision quest. But we don't use it properly. And I am pretty sure that our chemists can create a much safer drug given the means to do so. Today, my priests of the Vision Quest are senseless tweakers who are used as a bad example for drug use. Now that marijuana is no longer a free for all, meth has taken its place as the number one drug of illicit choice. The government has made it their main target. So it is the focus of the war on drugs. Meth is the new marijuana in the current war on drugs. So the prophecy also is um, in this, the drug is a drug that the Grey created. Did the Grey choose meth as a drug acceptable to their people? Is this an acceptable fast for the Grey? Well, not in its current form and use. But yes, the Grey do choose meth heads. The Grey created meth. Every drug my people use was a creation of the gray. Every drug has a purpose, and all unnatural drugs need to be perfected to prevent sickness. No drug used should do harm to the body. Every drug we have has a reason. Pot to turn on our DNA, meth to fast for visions for prolonged work, cocaine to enhance physical strength and to allow for safer lifting and for hard physical labor. Acid and psychedelics is for mental health work. These drugs also help in healing mental illness and traumas. Heroin and opioids are for pain relief and for severe trauma. Some people have horrific mental anguish, which is dulled by these drugs. Ecstasy, this is for an elevated emotional boost. It is for severe mental distress and to enhance spiritual experiences. The point is, our use of drugs is not just for fun. We have reasons for the drugs we do, and our children who are exploring our world in a new way. Each drug teaches us something about our gray half. We play at drug use now, but we are learning how to use them. Just as a young boy plays with a toy gun to learn how to wage war, so as an adult, so we of the Zionite priesthood party mindlessly now so that in the future we will know how to use drugs to communicate with the Grey and for the rest of humanity. And yes, the Grey did choose math to prove to everyone once and for all that they are God. Meth is exonerated to justify all drug users because it's not just about meth. It's about all illegal drug users. It doesn't matter what drug you choose. Choosing any drug means that you have chosen to become gray. This passage is proof that the gray choose drugs, not just pot. Verse 5 in this passage compares the accepted religious fasting of Islam and the Jewish fast to the use of meth. As already stated, the Middle Eastern fast is just a show of self-deprivation, whereas meth is a tool of a higher sight. The show of self-restraint is honorable to God, and I'm not putting it down, and all is well and good, but seeking visions is more productive. The main reason that the Grey instituted the use of meth was to provide spiritual energy for higher brain functions, i.e., vision quests. But they also created it to prove that they choose drug users in all of their chosen forms. This passage says they wrote this to prove that all drug users are to be freed. The use of methamphetamines and heavier drugs by my people is just part of who and what we are. We by nature play the humanitarian. We feed the hungry. We clothe the naked, and we stand by those in need. We take in the homeless and give of ourselves spiritually to those around us. Drugs are tools. We use drugs because that's who we are. And there I'm going to end today. Tomorrow we will start with Isaiah 5:11 to 16. So, may the Gray watch over you, guide you, protect you from all harm, teach you right from wrong. May all your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light. May you always be happy and high. I love you all. Later, I'll never say goodbye.